To serve in the Israel Defense Forces as a lone soldier is a profound voluntary sacrifice. These young men and women leave behind their families, their native languages, and the comfort of the diaspora to step into a combat zone. Their training prepares them for the physical rigors of the battlefield, yet it leaves a glaring vulnerability, the intense, quiet isolation that hits the exact moment that uniform comes off. They make this choice because they feel an ethical duty to history. They fight to secure a nation not yet fully their own, anchoring their modern military service to a heritage thousands of years old. Surviving the war is just the preamble. The true test of their resilience begins the day they are demobilized and thrust back into civilian life. The transition is abrupt and jarring. They go from a highly structured, mission-driven unit straight into a hyper-competitive, extraction-based civilian economy. Immediately, they face crushing pressures. They're hit with predatory housing costs in central Israel, complex bureaucratic paralysis, and the sudden, terrifying accumulation of personal debt. This image captures the root of the problem, the scarcity mindset. It's the pervasive, panic-driven belief that there are not enough resources to go around. For a demobilized veteran, this intense financial anxiety acts as a potent trigger, bringing underlying combat trauma right back to the surface. Ancient Torah prohibitions warn against this kind of economic environment. The laws strictly forbid the sins of ribbit, or usury, and onat mammon, the practice of financial exploitation. Abandoning traumatized veterans to navigate a predatory free market alone is a systemic moral failure. We have to find a way to take their extreme military discipline and repurpose it to build a debt-free reality. The answer begins with the Blue Zone Sanctuary. Instead of tossing veterans into the standard housing market, they are relocated into localized, regenerative modular hubs engineered for physical recovery and personal sovereignty. Before they can rebuild their civilian lives, they have to physically clear the residue of war. They must undergo an extreme biological decompression to flush the combat cortisol and accumulated neurotoxins out of their nervous systems. The intervention used to achieve this is the strict adoption of a whole food, plant-based nutritional protocol. This biological reset fulfills the mandate of Shmirat Haguf, the ancient Torah commandment to fiercely guard and protect the physical body. By operating closed-loop, plant-based agricultural hubs, the sanctuary entirely avoids the ethical friction and animal suffering tied to industrial meat production, honoring the principle of Tsar Ba'alei Hayim. True ethical leadership requires biological clarity. A leader cannot make generative, peaceful decisions if their nervous system is running on the toxic residue of war. Once the body is physically clear, the soldier's mind can be freed from the daily panic of basic survival and predatory rent. This is where the sanctuary introduces its alternative economic engine, the Barnescu REIT. This financial structure converts speculative real estate into a perpetual, decentralized community asset. When you combine this asset-backed system with closed-loop permaculture, you create a continuous Schmidt cycle. This bypasses the 7-year wait for biblical debt forgiveness by engineering a localized economy that operates without systemic debt in the first place. By mathematically eliminating artificial scarcity, veterans can safely map their finances using a guilt-free 50-30-20 allocation model. Fixed costs are capped, strategic savings are filled, and funds for intentional experiences are unlocked without shame. The physical layout of these hubs enforces systemic social justice too. They incorporate Peah, the ancient agricultural law of deliberately leaving the borders and corners of the harvest for the marginalized and those in transition. This diagram outlines the sustainable food engine. It's a modernized version of Maaser, or tithing. Through a high-yield, sell one, fund one, give one loop, up to 50% of the hub's production value is automatically dedicated to global hunger release. This architecture transforms capital from a tool of hoarding into an automated engine for tikkun olam, the active repair of the world. Managing this level of continuous, automated abundance across multiple global hubs requires immense predictive power. The sanctuaries rely on a technological nervous system comprised of Genie and Kaipa. These are highly advanced quantum algorithms engineered as intent engines, designed specifically to optimize resource allocation and eliminate market panic. But the Institute maintains a non-negotiable safeguard. These powerful AI systems remain strictly advisory. They never operate without mandatory human ethical review. This is the ultimate role of the lone soldier. They act as the technological guardians, utilizing machloket l'shem shamayim, the ancient tradition of rigorous Talmudic inquiry, to ensure that the AI's logic always serves divine ethics. Technology is only permissible when it acts as a holy tool subservient to human dignity. This human oversight prevents the dangers of algorithmic absolutism. By the end of this process, the veteran has successfully moved from an isolated, traumatized state into a position of sovereign, debt-free leadership. These demobilized soldiers operate as the modern equivalent of the early pioneers, repurposing their intense military resilience and lethal discipline to build rather than destroy. These collaborative frontline operators have moved beyond the role of fortress defenders to build a regenerative startup region. This unique synthesis of 3,000-year-old Torah ethics and quantum AI is not meant to stay localized. It serves as a highly scalable, exportable blueprint for humanity. True peace, radical longevity, and debt-free abundance are not utopian fantasies. They are structurally guaranteed realities when architected by those who understand the devastating cost of conflict.